aweze kutueleza sisi. Lakini nimeona ya kwamba hakuna mawasiliano na akaendelea kuenda katika ile nambari ya 4 ambao sio mawasiliano. Ningetaka kujua Bwana Spika, yale mawasiliano ambayo tulikuwa tumefanya kwako Bwana Spika, na ukaahidi ya kwamba hivi leo utayaleta mbele ya bunge, na hivi sasa umeenda katika kipengele cha 4 umekosa kuileta hapa yale mawasiliano ambayo kwa upande wa walio wachache hivi sasa wanakosa uongozi wao. Hakuna whip wala deputy, na ilikuwa wewe uweze kuwasiliana ili tuweze kujua uongozi upo, ili tuweze kuendelea na katiba za bunge la Senate. Hivi sasa ni jambo la kusikitisha ya kwamba umepita ratiba hiyo ya 3 ya communication, umeingia katika. Tunataka kama kuna uamuzi wowote ambao uliufanya, na haifai kuwa na uamuzi, unatakikana kuleta communication kwa nyumba. Lakini sasa mimi ninaona kuna kizungu mkuti kinaendelea ambacho ni kwa nini tunataka kujua wewe hutaki kutuambia sisi ni jawabu gani ambalo unaweza kucommunicate kwetu na kwamba wewe hujaleta hiyo ratiba hapa ndani. Ni kizungu mkuti gani kinaendelea hapa ndani ya bunge la Senate ya kwamba unanyima walio wachache kuwa na viongozi wao wanaowahitaji ndani ya vile viti? Asante Bwana Speaker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I can see there are requests and interventions. So I don't know, Olekina Redama, Senator Wanalok.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I rise to really inquire from the chair's office, on the chair's desk, on the communication that the chair promised to deliver in terms of the leadership of the side of the minority. Mr. Speaker, we know from history that what goes around comes around. Well, I'm a bit perplexed that the chair has decided to draft new standing orders. Mr. Speaker, sir, the standing orders are drafted and passed by this House. Yesterday, we conversed on the issue of the communication from the leader of the minority on matters dealing with the leadership of the minority side. Mr. Speaker, we do not want to impute any improper motive on the Speaker, the substantive Speaker of this House. Because, Mr. Speaker, you are a colleague, but today you are sitting in that seat as a Speaker. But we are concerned because the substantive Speaker is now exhibiting characters of a prefect, someone who wants to come and prefect political parties. It shocks us that the substantive Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and we are not discussing the character of the Speaker here.
You are a very renowned, outstanding senator for Narok.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I agree.
Of course, you know the standing orders cannot allow even to discuss, not even the Speaker, the conduct of any Kenyan who is not here to defend himself.
Okay, Mr.
So
Speaker, I'm guided.
Kindly execute
Mr.
your
Speaker,
without referring to
I will not refer to the substantive Speaker in person, but the Speaker's office is an institution. And when we see that the institution is now attempting to investigate on the circumstances that led to the minority side deciding to change their leadership and appointing a new leadership, that in itself leads a lot to be desired. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of reason, This is a house of union. This is a house that is supposed to show high level of discipline. It is a house that has got the best legal minds here. The Secretariat, Mr. Speaker, give advice to us legislators whenever we have any matter to be able to deliberate here. But we are concerned because on our side, we've got no leadership at the moment. We only have the minority leader and his deputy. We do not have a whip. We do not have a deputy whip. The communication, and I'm trying to understand, Mr. Speaker, and sometimes I wonder whether we have different schools that people go to when it comes to reading simple English. Section 23, Standing Order number 23, 6, is self-explanatory, Mr. Speaker. I do not want us to cause any havoc here, but seriously, if a house of union, a house that is supposed to make laws in this country, led by a distinguished speaker, cannot be able to clearly read what is indicated here, Mr. Speaker, and it clearly says, upon a decision being made by the minority party, under the standing order, the decision of the party shall be communicated to the speaker in writing, together with the minutes of the meeting at which decision was made. It does not talk about anything to do with fair administration of justice. It does not talk about anything to do with different conflicts or the speakers now trying to meddling into party affairs. Mr. Speaker, I may want to beseech the chair to desist, because a chair is not a prefect of a political party. A chair sits there, he's blind, he's only there to guide. But there is a tendency now, Mr. Speaker, which is a bit dictatorial, where the chair dictates what can come out of our mouth, what we should say. It is some sort of gagging, Mr. Speaker. If we are going to continue with that trajectory, Mr. Speaker, I dare say that we might as well fold and leave, because democracy has already been sunk into a 6-foot hole. We cannot allow that, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to beseech you. You are one of our colleagues. Can we stick to this? Because I believe that if we do not abide by these standing orders, it will come back to what Senator Orengo was telling us here. You know, that we have to be very careful of our actions as leaders. We have to demonstrate that. Because if this house alone cannot be respected or cannot respect itself, then what exactly are we doing? So, Mr. Speaker, I want to beseech you. I want to beseech you, Mr. Speaker, because of what is happening here, Mr. Speaker. What is happening here? You know, of course, we have, nothing stops us from exercising the Constitution and the standing orders. And these standing orders are very clear. We have other avenues. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to beseech you that before we proceed, because there's no business which is going to proceed here, I can assure you that with all due respect, what we want is... No, I'm not... No, Mr. Speaker. We have agreed from the onset, Mr. Speaker, we have agreed from the onset that I have a lot of respect for you, and I'm not disrespecting you in which way. So would like to know, Mr. Speaker, I am not speaking to the majority leader. Majority leader, I think, have some respect. You need to shut up when other people are talking. This business of talking every time as if you are the only one who has the monopoly of words, Mr. Speaker, it's a little bit ludicrous, and we will not allow. I have respect for the Speaker, and we will not allow this sort of gagging. So, Mr. Speaker, we are elected leaders. When we are in this house, Mr. Speaker, I respect Mr. Speaker.
I want to give the
so,
next
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader, you are on intervention.
See, this is my my problem, Mr. Speaker. The problem that I have, I said yesterday, okay, it can even be last year, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you are... Can I be heard, Mr. Speaker?
Proceed and
I want to proceed. Which standing order? Anyway, Mr. Speaker, this is a point that I'm trying to prosecute here. They asked you a very simple question. Why haven't you communicated? To the best of my knowledge, and I don't want to be dragged into the operations of the office of the Speaker, I'm only concerned for time, Mr. Speaker, that it's now 2:53. I thought by now, because we have serious business that you want to prosecute, you should have either given them their communication the way they want it, or informed them the reasons why they have not received the communication. That's the only thing I wanted to say. I have no problem with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
How can I say it? How can I say it when you're heckling?
Thank you, Majority Leader. Thank you, Majority Leader. Senator Kajwang Moses.
Mr. Speaker, the substantive point of order is before we leave order number 2, we expect a communication from the chair. We do not expect a ruling because there's nothing to rule on. A ruling comes when there's ambiguity, when there are gray areas. But where the standing order is clear on how the majority or minority side should conduct themselves as far as leadership is concerned,
Senator Kajwang, before you proceed, the minority leader asked me a very simple question. And I'll give him right away.
Mr. Speaker,
so I want you to finish.
This is my point of order. It's not on the minority leader.
Because you are dwelling on what I should give. He asked me a question and I will answer
Mr. Speaker,
right
this
away.
is my point of order. It's not synchronized with the minority leader. We do not, and I do not expect a ruling. Mr. Speaker, if you're going to give a ruling, you will be taking powers that do not belong to you. The role of the Speaker is in the Constitution, is to be an umpire and not a player. Mr. Speaker, you cannot put on the uniform of one side and purport to decide for some side of the game how they should conduct themselves. Mr. Speaker, I'm on a point of order, Senator, with due respect to the chair. Mr. Speaker, this House is a last frontier for free speech. And Mr. Speaker, if the chair is going to gag us, and I have a lot of respect for the chair as an institution, and even for the gentleman sitting on the chair, I've got a lot of respect for that gentleman. This is a last frontier for free speech. We must ensure that there is fidelity to the Constitution and fidelity to the standing orders. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge you not to be dragged to be part of political party or coalition intrigues. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge you to allow the minority to be led by those they want and the majority to be led by those that they want. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say this on the floor of the House, that there is no senator who's more special than the other. All of us can serve. All of us can lead. Mr. Speaker, when we communicated changes on the leadership of the minority side, we were saying that we need someone else to be our whip and somebody else to sit on the bench. And Mr. Speaker, I've personally been very conflicted in the decision that we have taken. In this House, the senior-most member in this House, in terms of longevity, is Senator Stewart Madzayo, followed by Senator Fatuma Dulo, followed by Senator Moses Kajwang, followed by Senator Aaron Cheriot. If leadership was conferred on the basis of experience in this House, I would not vote against Senator Fatuma Dulo to stop being our whip. But sometimes there are factors that come into play, issues of political party management, allow us, Mr. Speaker, to have the leadership that we want and do not be compelled by anybody in leadership of this House to influence your thinking. And Mr. Speaker, finally, and I want to, my friend Aaron, he's smiling, he's a very good friend of mine. And I want to advise him. And the bullfighter today, nowadays, is a bit chilled. Senator Aaron Cheriot, if you are looking for a chihuahua, a toy dog that you can control, go and look for it outside. Do not look for it in the seat of the Speaker. Do not attempt to control the Speaker. Do not attempt to convert the Speaker to a puppet of the majority leader. The speaker is not your chihuahua.
Okay.
The speaker is the umpire of this house.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Speaker, I submit.
Senator Kajwang. Senator Kajwang, rest assured, the chair, the member of this chair can never be a chihuahua. Yeah? And rest assured, because I want to give one more member maybe from this side so that you can make progress. Senator Boni Karwale, now you are making me a chihuahua. Senator Mohamed Faki. Leave me alone to make my decisions. Yeah? And if I can be one, not a chihuahua, but maybe a German shepherd, not a chihuahua. My son has a chihuahua, I cannot be a chihuahua. He is a majority whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the attempts by the Senator of Mutembei to invite me and maybe the chair in the bad manners of name calling, we will not rise to it. Mr. Speaker, this point of order raised by Senator Madayo is very important. If we are true to the standing orders of this House. Proceeding on standing order number 23, Senator Madayo is... Ma? Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the distinguished senator from Kilifi is perfectly in order. But Mr. Speaker, as we support him, because I don't think it would ever be imaginable that anybody other than the leadership on the side of the minority can decide who leads that side in this House. Just as much as, Mr. Speaker, I don't expect anybody else other than ourselves to decide who leads us on our side. This is the Senate of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, the opportunity to have orderly business in this House is vested in the chair through the Senate Business Committee Standing Order number 190. And members of Parliament, members of this Senate, let's be very faithful to our standing orders. It is vested in that order. And in that order, Mr. Speaker, the composition of that committee from which you draw your power to control business here is defined. And one of the members of that committee is the leader of the minority. And that leader or minority, as of now, is Senator Madayo. And is aware that you can only proceed according to these standing orders after understanding order number 190. The Senate Business Committee has made a decision, Mr. Speaker, that the order paper will be in the form that it is. Senator Madayo, with maximum respect to you, you are being disorderly for this reason. That you are not telling your colleagues on the minority side, Mr. Speaker, that you and I and the leader of the majority and others, we sat in the business committee of this House and made a decision on this matter. We did. I beg you to listen to me even if I'm wrong. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, we sat, and if you don't know, I'm now informing you. We sat yesterday, and the leader of the majority was invited. If there was any change to the membership of the House committees, he had communicated. The same yesterday, the leader of the minority had not communicated. So, the order paper, you will object. I thought you are a judge.
Maybe you can give him information.
I'm
Not
giving you
another point of
information.
order. You can give him information.
And this must be on record. Mr. Speaker, sir, in that meeting, which was attended by others, including the leader of the minority, the leader of the majority submitted his changes. He was invited, he was not ready. And he was told, you will not hold the majority, it will proceed.
Senator Boni Karore, do you want to be informed by Senator Redamo Lekina? He has some information for you.
No, because he did not sit in the committee that I'm talking about. I don't know what information he wants to give me. If I conclude, okay, I will allow you. I'm not your enemy.
It's not allowing.
No, I'm not your enemy. I'll allow you to inform me after I finish my point.
Lost, Senator Karwale.
Yes.
The opportunity will be lost. Will have been lost. So if you want to be informed, later we should inform you.
Then I would rather lose it because I'm not running short of information as it is now.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Conclude.
Speaking with the dignity that is bestowed to us by this House, the Speaker then informed Senator Madayo that organize your changes, write to me, and the matter is going to be processed. And what Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, if you can protect me, I'm about to
conclude.
Yes.
Because I'm unable to give them an opportunity, because you're also on a point of order.
Yes.
So I'm unable to, I was conventing through a point of information.
Thank you.
But now...
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes. Conclude.
As I sit here now, just like them, I was expecting that the chair would make a communication as to why the Senate Business Committee has not sat to process their list if they have delivered. Mr. Speaker, up to...
Senator Mboni Karwale, I want to give opportunity to the minority
leader. Your honorable members.
Senator Boni,
yes.
Just a minute, please.
Yes,
let me give some direction.
Yes.
Let me give some direction. I was asked a question by the minority leader. I want him to repeat the question as he asked me this afternoon, so that now I answer later away. Then we make progress.
He's misleading the House.
Mr. Speaker, I will be the last person to mislead this House. And I swear that I cannot mislead not only the House, but even the chair. And I want to say it very clearly that that communication I made to the Speaker, I made it even in the presence of everybody in that House, in that committee room, number 4. It does not require voting at all. It does not require...
Majority leader, you know you are my friend. And I've just asked you, repeat your question to the chair. So that other members, even who came late, can be able to now move together with us.
You are not sitting in that SBC. But I think he's gone out of his way to say...
I gave you an opportunity after order number 2 was read.
Yes.
What did you ask
and
the
I
chair?
asked you a question.
Yes, that's the question I want.
Why are you not communicating? That was my question. The changes. Because it is expected that you communicate the changes to about the leadership. We have no leadership on this other side. You have accepted changes on this other side. You are not accepting changes on this side.
So, honorable senators.
Yeah, can you clarify that?
Honorable senators, I have listened to several senators here on the floor, Senator Rendama. You are very articulate about who should communicate. You have severally mentioned the substantive speaker. When this question was asked even yesterday, I was here, sitting here, and the minority leader really canvassed his communication, and he wanted the speaker to make the ruling. From where I sit, or where I stand now, the speaker is not in a position to give the communication right away. Now, what I request honorable senators we do, is to wait for the speaker to come, wherever you'll be here, to come and give the communication. The communication, Senator Sifuna, the communication is with the speaker. Right Honorable Kingi. The substance, and I'm happy that Senator Ndama, you put it very well, that you are waiting for the speaker to come. Therefore, I request honorable members, let us, maybe whatever he is maybe even drafting the communication. So, we go to the next order. Next order.
Order number 3.
Next order.
Messages.
Next order.
Order number 3. Messages.
Next order.
Bwana Cheriot. Aaron unaharibu